Hi guys, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard Pan Am American flight from the 1960s. And I'm going to usher you straight into economy class with this watch. So this interesting watch, I purchased this from eBay very recently for about £8. It's, I believe, 1960s, maybe early 1970s. So late 1960s, perhaps very early 1970s. It's a Swiss movement watch, well, Swiss made watch, although not particularly high quality. I'll show you the movement shortly. And what we have here is a SpeedAce 21. Sorry, SpeedAce Airman 21. As you can see, it's, let me zoom in, Swiss made, anti-magnetic. It actually has a rotating bezel, and you can see all the amazing destinations that we can go on this SpeedAce Airman watch. So at the top, if we can make it out, because there's quite a bit of wear, this SpeedAce Airman watch has definitely been worn and used quite a lot. It didn't come on this strap, so the watch actually just came as a watch, and I've given it a good clean up. It was a bit grotty. I've given it a good clean up and a polish up, and it's working pretty well now. At first it wasn't working, but I've done a little bit of magic and it's working. So let's have a look at the destinations. At the top we've got Anchorage, and then we've got, what is that? Oh, can't even read it, it's so faded. Something Scaraway, didn't see that before. San Francisco, Mexico. We're bored of Mexico, we can go on down to Calcutta, and then on to Singapore, and then across to Hong Kong. Oh, there's something above Hong Kong. So I think there's destinations above the ones that we can see that are a little bit worn out. I can't really make them out. Is that Tokyo? Sydney? Maybe Venezuela above Sydney? I can't quite make it out. Marshall Islands. I think one says London, Wellington, Honolulu. We're back up to Anchorage. So lots of cool destinations that you could travel to back in the day. Let's just take the zoom back down. Yeah, as you can see, the dial isn't too bad. You haven't got a date function, and you've got these baton indexes. It's got rather nice lugs, and it's not a bad size dial. Just got my tape out. It is about 35, 36 millimeter. It looks kind of bigger than that. Now this NATO style strap, which looks rather groovy with it, was the only strap I had available that would kind of hanging around that would fit on it. So it probably doesn't really suit the style of it, but at least I can then wear it at the moment. But yeah, I need to get a better strap for this. Now, it's also was sold as it's a dive watch, but there's no way you'd probably want to take this under the water, because it's just a push crown with a couple of, just a click. But it has got a screw in back, but I definitely wouldn't take this underwater, because when I was cleaning it up, just using a toothbrush and some degreaser, it managed to get a little bit of misting on the inside, which overnight has dried out. So that's just from going around with a little toothbrush. So I don't think its waterproofing credentials are very good. And in fact, on the back, it doesn't say anything about going underwater, although, as you'll see in a second, there is a picture which would lead you to believe that you could perhaps take this swimming. So you've got the picture also on the dial of this sorry about the focus. You've got an aeroplane there, a jetliner, which is very much of the time. If we zoom into that, I'm not an aviation expert. I couldn't tell you exactly what that aeroplane is, but it does look like one of the kind of 1960s style. Right, so we just pop this off so I can show you the movement and the back here. Now this is what I'm talking about. If we look at, you can see there's an engraved diver, leading you to believe that you could probably go diving or swimming with this watch, but I certainly wouldn't recommend it, because all it says on the back is anti-magnetic, Swiss-made stainless steel back. It is a screw-on back, which I'll take off now and show you the incredible quality movement we have in here. That's the back. Try to get a bit more light. It's a beautiful sunny day. It's probably the best day of the year at the moment that we're having today. First couple of days of March. Spring has arrived here in sunny England, or sunny Kent, I should say. So there's the movement. It's a basic movement with one jewel. And as you can see, I think maybe a bit of water got into here before, because there's a little bit of corrosion on that cog there. Let's turn that round. And this watch basically wasn't working. He described it as working well, works well. Well, it wasn't working at all, basically. I mean, if I gave it a shake, it would tick for 2-3 seconds and it stopped. So to get this working, and because it's such a cheap watch, I'm obviously not going to spend £100 getting this service, £50. I just put a little bit of lighter fluid and dropped it on top of the main jewel there in the on the balance wheel, and it immediately started working. And then after a while it stopped, and I did a little bit more, and it's been working ever since, and it's actually keeping good time. So I think it reduced the lighter oil, which can muck up the watch. I totally don't recommend doing that, but this is a very cheap watch. I just wanted to see if I could get it working. Sometimes if the oil is okay underneath that jewel on the balance wheel, the lighter fluid will just rejuvenate the oil that's there a little bit, if you're lucky. You certainly don't want to put much. Sometimes you can just put a little bit on the back and then screw that back on, and as it evaporates it can get to where it kind of needs to be, and it basically kind of softens the oil back up again, which might have gone dry. Doesn't always work, but on this occasion it's worked. So how long it'll work for, I don't know. It could stop in the process of making this video, I don't know. So yeah, it's a bit of a cheap movement, bit of a rough movement. These were kind of like a bit of a Timex of their time. I've had a few of these type of watches now which say they're Swiss made. So I don't know if the movement's made in Switzerland. It might be that they put it together or constructed it in Switzerland so they could say it's Swiss made, but who knows where the actual components were made, because it's not a high quality Swiss movement by any stretch of imagination, although it's working, so it's pretty durable. On the back of the back plate, a little bit of writing there as well, which says, oh, we've actually got a, I didn't see this before, let me just place that down, like a manufacturer. Rotac Trading Corporation, Swiss made base metal case. There we go. I'll screw this back on and I'll show you what it's like on my wrist. So I don't think that was too bad for £8 on eBay, even though it wasn't working as well as the guy said, but it is working now. How long for, I don't know. That's a risk when you're buying watches on eBay. They often say they're working, and actually what they mean is it'll tick for a few seconds. If you're going to spend any real money, what you really want to do is actually message the guy and say, look, how long is it working for? You know, over a period of hours, how is it keeping time? Then you can find out if it's working or just working for a few seconds. I didn't bother to ask him. It was only a cheap watch, so I took a chance. I think it was near the end of the auction as well. There wasn't much time. I just put a bid on it and won it. Yeah, so as I was saying, I've seen a few of these watches. I've had a few of these type watches, not this exact one with the bezel, but a lot of these watches, they will say Swiss made and they will say deluxe. They might have a picture of a plane on them or something like that, and they have some kind of fancy kind of name, but they've all got this kind of one dual movement, cheap movement, and I think they were a very kind of low price watch at the time. Okay, so I'll just pop that on. Take off my Pagani GMT, which I wear most days for my daily. And there we go. Yeah, I'm not sure if it suits this strap or not, but as I said, it's the only one I've got here at the moment. So it is very worn on that bezel, which we could say is a nice patina, shows its age. There's no clicks to the bezel. It's just a smooth, I don't know what you call it. It's just obviously clips on there and it just turns around. Quite almost, I wouldn't say loose, but there's not that much resistance. And the bezel doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever. Those destination names, I mean, you can't line them up with the hands. It's not a GMT or anything like that. It's literally just for show. I don't even know why they bothered having a rotating bezel, to be honest. It doesn't serve any function. And if you know better, let me know in the comments, but I can't see that serving any further function apart from aesthetic. I don't think there's any time zones that you line up because there's not a GMT hand, so yeah. I could be wrong, but I don't think there's any function to that. But it's not a bad looking watch. It's certainly interesting. No, you're not going to see anybody else wearing one if you walk this down the street. So it could be a bit of a talking point. Seems to be working. So I'm going to go out for a meal later on, so I might actually wear this. It's nice to wear a vintage watch at least once, and I'll keep it in the collection for now anyway. It doesn't look too bad on that stripy Manic. I bought this for an Invicta Pro Diver, this NATO style strap, but I've got that back on its Jubilee bracelet now, so that's why that was still kicking around. And in fact, that is for a 22mm, and I think this is a 20mm lug to lug. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's 20mm. I need to get a 20mm strap, but I'm all out of those at the moment. So that's why that strap looks a little bit big. It's a 1mm too wide, although not that you really notice. It's doing the job. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. It is what it is. It's certainly vintage and it's interesting and quite unique. There won't be that many of these around anymore because they're not great quality. So I think a lot of them would have just got broken and thrown away. But this one has survived. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to see more watch related content. I've got quite a lot of back catalogue with vintage watches and more modern watches on there going back. Take care.